Greetings again. We're continuing with simple entry. Now we're going to really examine the power of simple entry. And here you can see I have in my workspace to demonstrate to you how this works. Of course, finally, right here I have the internal keyboard viewer so that you can see the keys that I'm pressing. Well, I press the space bar key, right? You would see right here, you'd see the effect of it on the key, right? Pointing at V, just look. So look out for that so that we can be acquainted with what it is that I'm actually using. I've also connected my MIDI keyboard and turn it up. Alright, good. So immediately you realize I just played on the MIDI keyboard and notes were already flying in. Alright, so you can use using this viewer, this keyboard viewer, to show you can actually see when a key is depressed. Alright, you can actually see that. And hear it. Alright, good. So let's get to business because that's what we're about. Good. So you would have seen that I'm using the command key I'm hitting Z, and that's what you do to undo. So let's think about just putting in some notes. First of all, my combination to selecting the notes here, you can click, but it takes more energy and you have to control the mouse. So if you're really working fast, it's best to use the number pad, and the last video would have showed you how to program whether the number pad or whatever key combinations that you would be accustomed to using. So if I choose 7, it goes on whole note. Just follow through with me. If I choose 6, and you see it's happening right there in the number pad to the right of the onboard on-screen keyboard. 5 is quarter note, 4 is 8th note, 3 is 16th note, 2 is 32nd note, demi-semiquaver, and 1 is 64th note, which is hemi-demi-semiquaver. Alright, so let's go through them again. 1 is hemi-demi-semiquaver, 2 is demi-semiquaver, 3 is semiquaver, 4 is quaver, 5 is crotchet, 6 is minim, 7 is a semi-brief, 8 is a breathe, right? Now 9, the key 9 is programmed to do enharmonic spelling. For example, you may have a note written D sharp and you want it to be spelled as E flat. So that's what 9 does. And as you follow, you realize that the correct that is at the beginning position right here on the screen, right? So the cursor itself has the note value that you would be changing it to. Realize? Good, right? And the correct position has that value. Now, how this works with simple entry with the use of a keyboard is that you choose a type of note, all right? Then you press the pitch that corresponds with it. Well, let's write a scale. So if I'm writing a scale, I could just play in the scale, and the scale will be written. Alright? But it will be written to the type of note that I have selected. So if it is that I want to correct this, if it is that I would want to position my cursor over the note, right? I would use the arrows. So I would position it over the note. I would press the key combination for it to change to a half note, and then I would strike C4. Then C4 becomes a half note. Let's keep on doing some things there. I'm not really doing anything per se, like writing something specific. And it moves to different to the next measure as soon as the measure is completed. And if you use your arrow to move along, it would fill the measure with rest. So if you do have a keyboard that has whether MIDI 1, any MIDI connectors, you'll have to go through the lesson that I have in terms of knowing how to connect your keyboard and do it with your system and see if this method works for you. I will emphasize that it is best if we have several options in terms of data input of notes. Alright, so we looked at inputting one note. What about inputting a chord? Let's look at that. I'm going to just play an E minor chord. Alright, so once you put in that, you both hear it, you'll see the notes that are there. Good. So we basically can put in anything that we need. So that was a E minor chord. Basically in the second inversion, I'm going to put in a C7 chord. Well, not quite. I ended up... Right, that's the chord I wanted to put in. Alright, I'm going to be adding a dot. So after putting it in, I could just add a dot to it by just pressing the dot, and if I continue pressing dot, it continue adding dots. Right, well, you know, let's undo all of that. I think I have made my point, haven't I? Alright, so right, good. The next chord that I would want to put in, now I want some eighth notes in. Alright, it fills the measure, and I'm going to put a run. Alright, sounds like a turn. Let's put in another chord. Let's put in something with one of the black keys, right? Good. And for example, I want to move the chord up and down. If I place it in the wrong place, I can use the arrows to move it to its location by just centering the caret over it and moving up or down. Alright? We want to respell it. Wow. Yeah, this is kind of surprising. Alright? Okay. That's what I mean. Play around with the program. So with the settings that I have, it seems as though 9 automatically gives you the triplet. So I could actually put in another chord. Let's put in another chord here now. Alright, so there we go. The use of the simple entry. You know, I was just play around with it, and let's get working with this. Alright, so this is another way of inputting notation using simple entry. So you can put it in by using your mouse. You can put it in by using a combination of the keyboard, which is your musical instrument right here, and your keyboard, which is your typing keyboard, right? Yeah, right. We have so many keyboards here: the musical keyboard and the character keyboard, right? That's the word I'm looking for. Right? So we have used that methodology. So stay in tune as well as continue following the videos, and guess what? Practice. Just try and get with this stuff, get some music, something that you would have wanted to type in. Let's get this thing going, alright?